you enjoyed that. And looking at, 13 years, but still, the function was so beautiful. I love that. But quickly, Fiona, I would love to know, like, how did you manage to get together that 10 maids that I'm seeing? Because these days, people be like, my maids, or what, stuff like that. But let's get it from you. How was your experience bringing all those beautiful ladies together?
Now, what's amazing is we started out, I think we had 4. But every time I would say, but this is my friend. I need to add until the list actually grew to 10.
Oh, wow.
I think there were 2 like we left out that we could have made a dozen.
Didn't they feel bad?
We assigned them other roles, so it was able to fit in.
Mm.
But I think the best thing was, it was the first wedding, I think, in our clique of friends, even in my class. We started, because we graduated in February, and our wedding was in August.
You graduated?
She graduated.
I graduated,
okay.
yes. The time he had already graduated. Actually, no, he first graduated when I was in S6. Now, the question was, he's finished campus. Me, I'm just going to start campus. So does he go to work? What happens? And I think the modalities, but I think he feared that if he starts working, girls will take him.
So
he applied for another course.
That deserves that drum roll. Wow. So he had to go in for another course. This is a lab. Wow.
He went in for another course at Chambogo. So we actually did the second degree at the same time. I was doing mine in MOMS, I was doing the second degree in Chambogo. And it helped us move at the same pace, which was actually very nice. Like, it helped us spend more time together. He would come from Chambogo and come to MOMS, and we just spent time together, and it was good. So when I graduated, he was also graduate. I think he had graduated in December, because Chambogo was graduating in December, Makere in Feb. So I graduated, and the wedding was in August.
Oh, wow.
So all our friends, it was the first wedding around. So they were all excited. But what the amazing thing I had about my maid, I even got to see the dress on the day of the wedding. Like, they did not give me any hassle at all. They were my friends, because these were really, really good friends. So anywhere they could help, they would actually help. So they went, I just told them I want lilac, that's the color I'm going to use. Everyone just somehow, they worked it out, and they were all on time. We had salon, I think, at 4 those days. Everyone was in the salon at that time. Like, I did not hassle even 1 minute with a maid.
Cool break. Wow, that's beautiful.
Having friends. And that's why I think when we're choosing maids, we shouldn't go out for same color, same size, same whatever. Those are things some people look out for. But if you choose your friends, they actually mean well. So they'll go all out to make sure your day is beautiful. And I remember we even had, because there were many, I think 2 had to drive. I think Faith and someone, they had to drive. And for me, it was like, wow, this is something that gives people a hard time. For me, it was very easy for me. Even during that day, you find all of the people you're surrounded with really care about you. So they're going to make sure everything about you is beautiful.
Wow. Wow. I really, really love that. And I'm glad that you were stress-free.
Yes, real stress-free.
Yeah, but she also had good support.
Yes, I also had good support.
I like that.
And by the, if I had stress, I don't know how I would have managed, because my introduction was the day before the wedding. And now Banyankole function, so it ended at 1. And remember, the next day is the wedding. So if I had the stress of maids, I don't know if I would have managed, because I was really tired from the giveaway. Then you go home, then you start running around with people. I just went home and slept, woke up at 4, and by the time I reached the salon, all of them were there. I think it was one who came just a few minutes after me. And I was amazed, and it was beautiful. And of course, I had good support. He was on the phone all the time singing for me songs.
He can sing. That's beautiful. Now, let's pick it up from you, Mr. Mbowa. Now, when you was in your sharing, you just mentioned that you had looked at her, and then you're like, this is my wife. Did you have a list at that time, T, that you had written down of the qualities maybe you would want to see in your wife, and you found all of them in Phionah, or what? Please, let's bring us up to speed on that.
I don't want to lie that I have been that intention that But sometimes when you are in the presence of what you like, and you don't need to have to put a list to it. I like simplicity, and for me it is, do I have peace with this person? Can I 20 years later, would I still want to talk to them? As in, do we have conversations? Or do we run out of conversations? So we could talk. We could talk the entire day, like the entire day, practically
Like from
talking from morning to evening,
evening.
and we don't run. And even when I'm escorting her back home, like we still talk. Then you escort. Then so we couldn't run out of conversation. And for me, that was vital because I didn't want to have my old days with the person you don't connect with. So when that, I didn't want to overthink it. I don't want to oversimplify, to overcomplicate it, and then say I need five. Because if I came with height, she would not meet. So there are all those other things,
Yes.
and they just melt away. Even if you had a visualist in your head, when when something connects, all the other things don't matter.
Okay. Now, still on you. What advice really would you give to a boy child out there, especially who's really just in betwixt there? He's failing to really take a decision, or get someone to make life with.
I like just let them just be honest with themselves. What do they want? Vis-a-vis, what should I want? What do I ought to want? Someone will say, now for me, I've gone to school and I've gone to this school. I
need a girl.
A person of this in the bank. I need to have this, or I need to build this house, or I need to. Once, like, it's about you. And for me, I'm grateful to my parents, to her parents, because it wasn't even about the parents. Once we made that decision and we went and told our parents, she was young, 23, 20, I don't know.
It's maybe 23 then.
Let's just say 20 for that short, so that she feels young. But 23, I was in my 26, 27, I'm not sure, but it was young, that's young. As in, I was living at my parents' home. She was living at her parents' home.
We left our homes on the day.
We had never been out. But then you tell the person, I didn't have a job per se. I didn't, it was shady. I didn't have. I was in sales in different places. But then you go to your parents, tell them, I want to get married. And they say, are you sure you want to be with this person? You say, yes. You say, okay, I will support you. And for me, that, as long as, even if it was a wrong decision, now we're in it with my parents. They had. So the boys now overthink everything. We meet quite a number of boys on our dining table there, and they are coming up with so many. Like, they tell you this is the girl, but then they say, and I always tell them, the minute you say but, it's a gone deal. But you see also there's this, that's not the person. Don't waste time, go on. She is not the only one, there are so many others. Don't waste her, don't waste yourself around over time just thinking about this will become better. Maybe if I got a different income, I mean, see yourselves, how do you see yourselves without income? That's how we came up with that Mark Pearl. Like Mark Pearl forever. It is just us. Like, outside, the rest it will figure out. We don't have money, but it's us, we are there, we'll figure out. This, of course, as life goes on, things get a bit complex. You have those children. Just allow me to
Daddy King.
Yes.
Wow.
So now you are not living for us anymore. But even amidst that, I can tell you, just as you've had me just telling them, you go find your other friends. When we find time to prioritize ourselves, yes, the children have come, we like them, they have beautiful names, they are doing amazing things. One is a champion in robotics, another one is a super reader, another one has a lot of kajan. Like, there's so many of those things. But we also understand that's they are independent persons. When we can never lose ourselves for them. So we just keep, and police don't come for me, but not once in a while, often, we leave home and leave them behind and go just spend time as us. So I tell the boys, all those boys that, one of the boys is here actually, the one behind the camera, and we're saying, when you see that person you can spend time with, without assistance of children, of your other friends, of your gang, that's the person.
The
And
person that gives you peace.
at that person, once you have that person, you don't need to wait.
The rest will
You don't
figure
need to.
itself out.
We had our wedding, 600, 700 people,
100 guests.
700 guests. But very, like, they practically funded the wedding.
We even had
But
balance of
we
the
were very okay with us having even a simple wedding. It still wasn't complicated. Our maids drove themselves. One of our friends gave us a short limo. And from us, we had a reverend, we had a church. We went to pay church fees. They told us, don't, just come. Like the minute we said we want to, everyone just, like imagine church saying, don't give us church fees. The church itself gave us all the drinks. This is the Church of
where we're
Uganda.
praying from.
Gave us all the drinks for the function. We left that wedding with a balance.
Wow, where is that money, Phionah?
That balance is
We used it to roof our house.
Because remember, one of the things we started, we had a joint account in housing finance, and it was a housing account. So prior to even getting married, I was living at my father's, living at our father's.
So
we started building on this property.
Like
a small house, a small house. And we lived in that small house for over 10 years.
Wow.
We've lived in this one, our second home, for 3 years. And we hope that in the next 3 years we're going to live in another area. But these are people who started out. I had no
salary
job.
of 150,000.
That in the sales thing, she had to leave her job. But because we said yes, let's make this work, everything has just started piling. Like the support came. I got a pastor who gave me a contribution. I always tell people that I know people who give. Like you go to pray, she says no. Today I'm not praying. Today I just want to contribute to your wedding. To bless you. My friends, I didn't have groomsmen, but I had 6 gentlemen who each of them contributed 500,000. Like they had jobs because we had studied with them and they had started working 3 years before me. I went back to school. And when I said I'm going to get married, I was the first among them. I told them, guys, I'm going to get married and it's your fault. You got jobs before me. Fund this. And we sat down. They said 500,000 each. Each that did that 500 and 3 million plus another 2 million. That was our huge budget. We ended up tripling the budget, I think 4 times, and getting balance to fit 600 people, 700. Wow. I got my mother and her sisters to cook, they did the outside catering. They cooked from home. They cooked, and everyone, we had 50 tables. And we had 50 cakes on each of those tables. So,
but I think what Mr. Mbowa is trying to say, sometimes you complicate these things. You want to first make sure maybe she's tall, she's beautiful, she's all that. But also I keep asking the boys, for you, are you all those things? You have to understand we are 2 imperfect people coming together to make a perfect thing. So if we don't complicate, I want my wedding at Serena, I want my wedding here, you find that the excuse actually we give for not marrying people don't exist. Now first we got married from our local church. That's why everyone came in. If I had said, let me go to Old Saints, which would have been my perfect thing, maybe at that time, not everyone would have come in. But because we realized who we are then, we knew that we would get a lot of support if we went from our local church. And it was amazing. So we need to know, marriage is basically about the 2 of us. It doesn't matter how big the wedding is. It doesn't matter even how my friends will look at my husband. Because I've had friends saying, I like this man, but how will I present him before the girls? But he's not marrying the girls, he's marrying you. So as long as this clicks, the rest is just history. And it's what we should prioritize. Then have a small wedding. Actually, I keep telling young men, have a small wedding. Then after, when you get your money, go and throw a big bash. Whether at 5 years, whether you owe us a bash. Go and throw a big bash, because now you can afford it, and maybe it is what you wanted the first wedding. No one will stop you from doing that. But right now, excuses of I'm not making enough money. He was earning 150,000, and we were able to build with like from his salary, because I was working at that time, but I had to leave my job and come this side, because we were coming a bit far from town. But what mattered for us is, am I happy with him? Can I look at myself at 80, still looking at the same face? When that clicks, the rest is just noise.
And 2 months after that, I got an offer from at my workplace.
5 times your salary?
Which took me to 820,000.
Wow.
At my workplace.
And that's a blessing that comes with
I know.
But we also, 2 months after that wedding, we were able to move into our home.
small home.
We rented for exactly 2 months, and then came to our home.
Wow.
And we just made those bold steps and said, I am a planned child. She's a semi-planned child. We came from places where we had power. I am the last born. But then we said we are going to a place without power. But we have each other. For 9 full months, I had never been in a place without power. But I was born in a hospital.
I think you could have had. For me, I had never been in that.
9 months later, we are in a place without. We spent 9 months without power, but we had radio.
We were so happy.
We are happy. We would in our small house, and now we have about 6 power lines coming to us.
I know.
But there is a blessing.
We are installing solar. We are procuring a generator so that when there is no power, we have all those options. And right now we have power because of the 6 power lines. When one goes off, we switch to another, keep switching. And when that all fails, we are now thinking of solar. We're thinking and we can afford to do those things. We couldn't see it immediately, but because we've been together, we are okay.
Wow. Wow. This is a blessing to have you here. I wish we had more time. Phionah, please, your advice to a girl child, and we close the show.
The girls out there, people, what matters is actually what is your heart telling you. And when people ask me, I like marriage, so I really love marriage. So when people ask me, how do I know he's the one? There's that person you be with and you are at peace. Like, it doesn't matter what is around, you are at peace. So whether he is rich or not rich, the issue is, are you at peace? Because people, we are married longer than we are single. Imagine I got married at 23, and if I'm to die at 100, those are 70 years. So if you're in a marriage that is miserable, imagine most of your life being miserable. So choose peace. Choose the person that you feel you're going to have peace with, regardless of wealth. The rest will come. God is going to bless you, but just choose that person that's going to make you happy and give you peace.
Wow. It's really been a good time. Our time is already spent. I love you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you for loving How We Met. Thank you for loving Ring Diaries. Yours truly. Yeah. Forever blessed. I love you. I'll see you again next Sunday. Same time, same place.
What we waited for has come to pass. If I were you, I'll sing it to someone. I'll just sing it to someone.